Welcome, everyone, to Emotional Intelligence for Continual Training. We're glad you decided to join us. Continual training for Dignify happens each month, and it's open to anyone who has an account with us, so feel free to jump into as many of these trainings as you would like. You can also use these videos as a great team building exercise. We're here to help you succeed. Now, let's jump into our training session today. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and I think you will be intrigued as well. Let's start at the beginning. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is your ability to manage your emotions and the emotions of others. I cannot stress enough the importance of taking time to learn more about EI and think about how we can improve our own emotional intelligence. We all have EI, and how we react to things around us help us know how high or low our EI actually is. Think about your ability to take a pause and think about a situation versus reacting to it immediately. We have all been in those situations, I'm sure of it. How we react has a great deal to do with our emotional intelligence. Do we just react? Remember, reacting happens immediately, without thought. Or do we respond? Responding requires thought. We pause, we think, and then we respond. In a team setting, having high emotional intelligence allows us to cope with our feelings, communicate effectively, and build relationships with our teammates. Today, I'm going to talk about feelings. We have them. The idea that we can just turn them off or ignore them is a bit of a myth. We don't get to shut them off, whether we're at work or at home. Emotional intelligence is a key driver in job performance and leadership. Today, many companies are looking to hire for EI even more than IQ. Daniel Goleman, considered one of the leading experts on emotional intelligence, shares that there are 5 aspects of emotional intelligence. We're going to take a closer look at them today. They are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Let's take a peek at each of them. We'll pause and walk through a couple activities, so be sure to have a pen or pencil, maybe a little paper handy as well. There's a PDF of these slides that will also be available to you, and you can practice these as a team as well. Now, self-awareness. Self-awareness is knowing how you feel and how those feelings can affect those around you. Your feelings do not only impact you, but others. You have likely experienced this from both sides. Think of a time when you came to work after something had really upset you, and you were just not quite yourself. You thought you were hiding it, but we don't hide emotions as well as we think we do, and our responses impact our team. Or think of a time when you were being spoken to in a harsh tone by a person who was maybe upset. You likely walked away feeling undignified and thinking, wow, what did I do? To improve your self-awareness, practice mindfulness. Even try keeping a journal of your day-to-day emotions. We're going to try a practical exercise. I have a timer, and I encourage you to take the full time allotted during these exercises to think about it. Quite often, as leaders, we tend to just stay busy, and we forget to slow down and reflect. It's important to slow down on a regular basis and reflect on how we're doing. We're going to do that today. For the next 2 minutes, think about how you feel right now. Write down 1 or 2 words to describe it. Then just be still in your thoughts. Begin now. If you hung in there and didn't answer any emails during those 2 minutes, great job. Let's move on to the second aspect of emotional intelligence. The second aspect is self-regulation. Now, if someone asked me which aspect I would have to work on the hardest to get really good at, it would be this one. Self-regulation means that you can keep your emotions in check at all times. You rarely, if ever, verbally attack or make impulsive decisions based on emotions. I have to admit that I used to make impulsive decisions without blinking an eye. I've been really working on that one, and I'm seeing great progress. As you grow in your emotional intelligence, I think this is an aspect where you can really recognize change. I encourage you to celebrate that change for yourself and others. This is hard work and totally worth it. Improving your ability to self-regulate comes with taking accountability for the emotions you often feel. Now, you'll notice it does not mean saying, "I have no emotions." It does not mean hiding the emotions that you feel. And it does not say, "Make sure you do not share the emotions you feel." It means taking accountability for the emotions that you feel often. Time for another practical application. Write down a negative emotion that you feel often. Does it align with who you want to be? Sometimes the act of writing it down makes it real, and then you can decide to get after it. So go ahead. What is that emotion? Is it defensiveness? Is it anger? Is it contempt, worry, anxiety? Those are just a few. Write them down. Does it align with who you want to be? Your time begins now. Way to go! Remember, these are just the beginning steps. We believe that if it isn't written down, it doesn't exist. So this is a step in the right direction of growing your emotional intelligence. Great job. Next is motivation. To be motivated is to work consistently toward your goals and have high standards for yourself and your work. To keep yourself motivated, celebrate small wins. Reaching goals, no matter how small, helps you to feel more motivated in the long run. You guessed it. It's your turn again. During these 2 minutes, we would like you to write down at least 2 recent small wins that you can share with your team, your leader, or even a family member. You can even send it to me. and we'll celebrate with you as well. Your time starts now. You're doing awesome. It's time to look at empathy. Empathy is your ability to understand and share the feelings of others. We're not going to do a practical application for this one today, and I encourage you to bring it into practical use after our training. To practice empathy, think about someone in your life and consider how they might be feeling today. Have a conversation with that same person later and concentrate both on what they're saying and what their body language might be telling you as well. Remember, it's about how they are feeling in their situation, not about how you would feel in their same situation. Empathy is different than sympathy. Keep that in mind. Sympathy means to feel pity for another person, but empathy is about understanding and sharing in the feelings of others. And now, social skills. The final aspect of emotional intelligence is social skills. It allows you to communicate and build solid relationships. Moving this into a practical application can be achieved by getting out there and really engaging in your Dignify tools. This is really about learning how to have relationship building that happens quickly, more efficiently, more effectively, and on a regular basis. That is Dignify. So what does this mean for Dignify and dignity-based communication? Improving your communication skills goes hand in hand with improving your emotional intelligence. There is indeed a Dignify connection. We have a challenge for you. Write down one of the 5 aspects that you need to get after, that you need to improve on. If you're ready to work on it, send us an email about what you're working on, and one of our coaches will check in on you in 30 days to see how things are going. We encourage you to do a couple things. Set up an introduction with a coworker. Maybe schedule a check-in with a person from a department that you work with. Maybe it's that person that you want to begin to have a little bit of empathy for or understand a little bit more. Spend some time learning about that person's snapshot, maybe learning about one person's snapshot each day. We want to celebrate with you, so be sure to let us know how you're doing. With that, I just want to thank you for taking the time to work on your emotional intelligence. Joining us today will make a huge impact for the way that you lead tomorrow. We will see you at our next training.